good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's ALTTPR League match here on SG4, Speed Gaming 4. And today we have the start of week number 5, Cross Keys. Cross-World Key Sanity, Cross-World Entrance, Cross... Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Cross Keys.
Cross Keys, yes. That is Freddy, and I'm Professor Renderer. This is a match between So of True Go Mode and Hitsuyan1337 of Team Awesome. And Team Awesome has been having the time of their life so far, with an astonishing 24 points on the board.
Yep, this is definitely a little bit of a top-heavy division. We got Team Awesome with 24 points, and Oops, da war es auch nicht at 21 points, 8-0 and 7-1 respectively. However, there is a pretty strong fight for third place right now, with 4 teams at either 4-4 or 3-5. So there is, with 3 weeks to go, there is still plenty of time for third place, and may possibly even first or second if some teams can start taking wins off of them to catch up to, or to get that third place and sneak into playoffs here.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So for Cross Keys, we flip the entrances, we shuffle all the entrances around, and we cross them between, some of the entrances will cross into Dark World, some will cross into Light World. Connectors are the biggest entry points for those, and dungeons can be pretty much anywhere in Hyrule. And in addition to that, we throw on Key Sanity, meaning every single dungeon item has been added into the item pool, shuffle them amongst themselves, and we gotta find those big keys, those necessary big keys in order to complete the game, and we are off.
Yep, let's settle in for a nice long one, starting off with a glove in Link's house.
Yeah, there are a couple things that are, like, for example, Link's house will be the same. The drop-downs will, all drop-downs are shuffled amongst themselves.
Yep. So a lot of the early game tends to revolve around figuring out which drop-downs are which. There is 7 of them, I believe, total. One of them is the Lumberjack Cave, so the ones we'll be paying most attention to are what's at the Lumberjack Cave itself, so we'll know if we have to go up and do AGA 1 for an important item, though that's only if we know we can see it. There could be things like the well there with 5 items that we don't even know if they're useful or not. Also, we want to see where Ganon is, and also we want to see where the, or we can rule out all the rest of them and figure out what is on the pyramid. Meanwhile, we have Thieves Town at the castle.
I also found at the front of Hyrule Castle. Also found a small key to the Tower of Hera.
Yeah, so that's potentially early access to the basement of Hera for cutscene act.
We also picked up a shield in the second chest following that small key to Tower of Hera.
We'll definitely see the first 4 here, but after that, most assuredly we'll see save and quits from both, since they can't actually get to the back of the... So next we'll probably figure out where Sank is.
Yeah, Sanctuary is one of those checks that is considered a drop-down, so we'll figure out what that drop-down leads to, and as so going to go and check that out right away.
Yep. Dion decided to not do that and instead head to the to the bombable wall, which is Hype Cave but in Light World. You'll be seeing a lot of places that you don't normally see in normal Link to the Past randomizer runs here.
Yeah, since every and all entrance is shuffled, which can mean all the dungeons can mean to lead to literally anywhere. And our sanctuary isn't too far away from the vanilla spot.
Yeah, Tisho finding the only drop down that does not actually have an item in it, and that is the ferry, which is actually where Sanctuary was. That was the drop. So it means definitely we'll have something with an item in both Lumberjack and the Pyramid. Could just be the bat. Early gloves, though, makes routing the light world actually a bit more efficient, because there's a lot of places that require the glove to actually check. Hitsuyan finding the Sank the long way. Ooh, Blind's Hut. No bombs for Tisho, but... Ooh, Hitsuyan is going to do a Houlihan room here and get some rupees, and he already found a shop with 10 bombs, so... There's the big key to get in the tower, don't have to look for that, and there's some bombs. And the desert big. Anyway, as I was saying, Hitsuyan's probably going to go straight to that shop again and get 10 bombs here.
And this is fair. And the bomb wall only having 20 rupees, so we're out of there.
Yep. So Tisho, once he runs into a shop that can afford some more bombs as well, though he did get some from Blind's Hut, fortunately. Ooh, and Ganon is at Lumberjack, so that means Aga 1 is a required boss this season.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I was going to mention before we started this race too. If we had found Ganon on Lumberjack, then it's pretty much it's an automatic trip to Aga 1 up the tower, and there's a flute hanging out in the Lost Woods,
Ooh.
the gamble room.
Yeah, that's always a nice thing to find early on, especially before you go to Kakariko. It'll make movement around the light world way easier with that in hand. Especially since the sanctuary is somewhere that is pretty far from Kakariko in the sea. Being able to get to Kakariko fast, where there tends to be quite a few places that connect to other useful places, or just dungeons, because there's a lot of entrances. Meanwhile, Hitsuyan going to what is usually dubbed the Light World Shopping Mall, just because there's three openings that tend to be shops for some reason. Not always, but not as much recently. But as you can see, there was a shop there, so heck, and the mall even has rupees to pay for stuff at the mall. Easy. But we did find the potion shop, another shop, and some rupees to pay for them.
That potion shop is going to be very important once Hitsuyan finds that mushroom. Tisho gonna go and enter Kakariko, find the first door of Kakariko, just leading to the west side of Hyrule Castle. The other side giving us the brewery, and that leads to a map of Thieves Town. And right away, Tisho is going to activate the flute.
Yep. It's a little bit short on rupees for the bottle merchant there, but usually there's a place you can get some rupees in Kakariko, theoretically. Ooh, Hitsuyan finding the bottom of Paradox Cave there. That is 7 chests and 2 connectors, which is usually a pretty important place to find early. Unfortunately, without the mirror, you can't actually access it from that side. And talking about Aga Tower. There's Aga Tower.
Hey, at least it's not too far away from our Lumberjack. Here's Uncle. And
Ooh, with a mint.
Mitts.
So we're going to have vanilla access to Dark World, which doesn't usually always happen that early in these Cross Keys seeds, just because usually you can get to the Dark World somewhat easily. I would say easily, but fairly easily from either from a connector of some sort. But with Titan Mitts, now you can get there from, at the very least, the Kakariko portal as well. Once we have the Moon Pearl, at least.
Yeah, for sure. And Hitsuyan finding the back, you're going to be taking advantage of the fact that Sanctuary is nearby and the backup escapes. Going to be getting those checks out of the way. And there's a small key to Thieves Town.
Okay. Doesn't help us right away, but meanwhile, Tisho finding the Eastern Palace in Kakariko. We can check at the very least 3 chests here, and 4 if he wants to go out to the big key chest.
Yeah, and so a bit about Key Sanity, and I kind of glanced on it for a little bit, but every dungeon item in the game is now added to the item pool, which means a lot of value in its normal in the dungeons themselves. You cannot do a map check because you need to find a map in order to see what medallion, or not medallion, crystal pendant 5-6 and green pendant is where, and the music has also been shuffled, so you cannot go off of the music alone. While Eastern Palace might be playing the pendant music, for all we know, it could just be a crystal.
Yep. So maps are actually a pretty important part of these runs usually. Lets you know which keys you need for sure.
Yeah, and compasses only give you an item tracker, which isn't really that useful for the runners, but very helpful if you're a beginner player who wants to try out Key Sanity for yourself.
Yep, not all items can be useful, unfortunately. One of our Turtle Rock small keys. Those tend to be pretty important, at least having 2 or 3 of them, because you might have to climb through Turtle Rock to either get to a connector somewhere or to get to Laser Bridge, for example. That said, you could also just find Laser Bridge sitting out in the middle of nowhere.
And Tisho gonna head over and do the big key chest. This is out of logic, of course, but really, logic is more so a suggestion than it is a necessity for these runners.
Even more so in Cross Keys Seeds. There's just so many places you can go that going out of logic really doesn't. It could easily be something that's in logic, but like takes a ridiculously long run to get to. Oop, Tisho taking a bit of damage here. This is going to be a little bit of a tough room. There is a couple hearts, and he can... Well, I don't know if there's enough pots to kill everything in this room. However, you can do this with 2 hearts. Not like that, though.
Hitsuyan grabbing the flute off of the gamble tree.
Okay, so Tisho decided to save and quit out of Eastern instead of taking a Death Warp back to Kakariko. He does have the flute in hand, and will decide to actually drop down here for the back of Escape. I don't believe there was much anything here, but good to get it out of the way while you are thinking about it. It's definitely something many runners, especially in Cross Keys, have forgotten for large amounts of time. I'm definitely not talking about myself, I swear. Also, a nice thing about Cross Keys is because these seeds tend to go very long, it became widely adopted among the entrance randomizer community to just always run Quick Swap. Quick Swap lets you quickly... Oh, there's that Cane of Samaria on the bottom. Good to have that.
Nice.
Anyway, as I was saying, like I said, because these are so long, having Quick Swaps, it just saves that little bit of extra time to make it a little bit more tenable to run these seeds. And it just became a standardized thing. So just pressing L and R on your controller, SNES controller at least, will let you switch between items. And then if you press both together, it'll let you switch between things like the shovel and the flute, for instance. So just a nice little quality of life thing. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, and we find the rat bomb room not too far away from its vanilla location.
Yep, this is one of the most useful rooms to find early on in Cross Keys Seas, just because it's free bombs. The other one really that you really are looking for is the Graveyard Ledge cave, because that same way gives you a bunch of hearts and a bunch of bombs.
For sure, and yeah, and it's about the quick swap. This is, I think, the only mode, unless this is also true for entrance as a whole. It's probably just cross keys by itself, but quick swap is only allowed on those kind of modes. I might be mistaken about that though.
As far as I'm aware, yeah, it's just not Randomizer. Any entrance. We were doing it for simple entrance tournament back in the days.
Gotcha. And
unfortunately, Tisho went out checking one of the entrances to Paradox Cave here and found the dark, which then puts you in Super Bunny mode and doesn't let you actually check those chests. However, because they're in Kakariko, it'll be a quick flute right away. And now he knows where all the exits are to the Paradox Cave here. Get some extra checks out of the way while he's thinking about it.
And Tisho gonna head over to what's normally Agina's cave. Instead, it's going to be the exit of the room, just that one room where if you fail the bomb jump on
Spectacle Rock. Yep.
Yeah.
And a full heart on Desert Ledge. Desert Ledge is one of those places that you don't know if you're going to get there anytime soon. Though that said, they're only a mere way of actually being able to access that. Because they have flute and mitts in order to get to the Mire.
Hitsuyan finding the right side of the left side of Desert Palace, just below Kakariko.
And while I'm on the subject, there is actually illogical ways of having to go through places while Super Bunny, or not Super Bunny, but just Bunny. Not specifically Super Bunny, actually. So Super Bunny is a state where Link, usually for falling down a pit, or if you go into a dungeon and die, you'll be able to actually spawn back in as Link and do stuff. It will not be logically required for you to actually be able to be Link and do stuff, but it could be required for you to walk through the Dark World as a bunny and check other connectors that way. So, for example, something like going to Mire and then running up to the Mire Shed, which happens to be a connector, and then dropping down through there and following that connector could be a required path logically to get you to progression. And you can also talk to NPCs as a bunny. So we're finding the well. I think Hitsuyan already saw this, but found the well in the normal bat cave, magic bat spot, and we found Sahasrara as well in Kakariko.
And Hitsuyan got the information that Skullwoods is required. Skullwoods is a green pendant, rather.
Yep, checking that in the bomb guy is pretty important in these modes.
And the race game only having 20 rupees. Now, the thing about cross keys that if there was an item required, an important item on race game, you would have to use the mirror in order to access that, and you even have to access it.
Yeah, Tisho having a bit of a problem with the mini Moldrum cave. It's hard to do with one heart, unfortunately. Do have the Canis Samaria, which could have been used, though even that can be tough because these mini Moldrums like to run around, as Hitsuyan is figuring out right now. However, the strat of throwing it down is definitely looks good. Just push the block in. There we go. Tisho taking another trip in there. This is definitely a very important spot. That's why you're seeing our runners go to such lengths to get past these little mini mold.
For sure. And as I was gonna go about race game, you'd have to use that mirror anyway just to check the entrance toward from the exit of the two brothers that leads you into the race game.
Yep.
Just for that one entrance.
Okay, so we're seeing Paradox Cave checks from both of our runners here. Getting more Samaria strats from Hitsuyan. And what do we got? We got bombs, a pod key, the flipper, some more rupees, and a key to mire. So, important small keys involve probably the most important one in cross keys is the Swamp Palace small key because that lets you into the dungeon itself. That's the only one you actually need for it, but it's a very important one. Other pretty important ones are Palace of Darkness small keys, as well as Turtle Rock small keys. Slightly less so for Turtle Rock in entrance, as you can usually find multiple entrances to Turtle Rock, but there's also things like the Desert small key gets you a couple chests at a right side, the Hera small key gets you into the basement, Thieves Town gets you the big chest, but there's quite a few dungeons where you can actually logically get everything without places like Ice Palace you can route around sometimes creatively to not have to use a key, though it's quicker if you do have one. Same with Mire, it's quickest if you have one, but you technically can do it without, not logically, but technically actually.
A piece of heart on Lake Hylia Island as Tisho gonna go over and check out the man underneath the bridge.
Yep, Hitsuyan now spending a bunch of extra time getting some rupees. Might actually end up paying off for him, as Zora was already in Logic, but is now very much in. But hasn't been through Eastern yet, so we'll see Eastern checks from him. And we'll actually also see if he's able to get to that big key chest that Showman. So we're going to see also this island. I can actually check this and Ice Palace while he's here, though I think he will... Actually, he might want to leave. Ooh, that's a connector.
Yeah, and that is, I believe, the fairy the one cave that is, I think, towards the East Death Mountain.
Yeah, East Death Mountain, the bottom of it is Mitzlock. And it just leads to basically the Light World version of the Turtle Rock exit. The Blazer Bridge exit, I should say. It looked like there wasn't anything useful in the Ice Palace, so... So it's like we're going to see... I forget if Hitsuyan... No, I believe Hitsuyan did not check Eastern yet, so...
I don't believe he has. And we find the Hookshot Cave. This is also a connector.
Yep, this is a connector and 1, 2, or 4 chests, depending on if you have boots or hookshot. We have none of those, but it is a connector close to a save and quit point, which could potentially be a very useful connector. Especially if it leads up to somewhere like Death Mountain. That's not a useful connector.
Yeah, it's just a one-way over to pretty much nothing.
Okay, so going back and just going to continue where he left off. But yeah, as people are just talking about it in chat, there are certain places that have to have a connector leading to them. There is the front of Turtle Rock. This is actually with the cane in hand. You can check at least one chest. And actually have technically a key to do the chain chomp chest as well, though maybe not want to do. Anyway, so they're saying there are certain places that require a connector to go to them. For example, right side desert, because you can't get to it otherwise. Other places of note are the floating island on Death Mountain in Dark World. Death Mountain has to have a connector going to it. The connectors that usually connect the pot lasers and the big chest of Turtle Rock has to have at least one connector leading to it. Could have two. I've seen it before. Plenty of time. Let's see. What else could it have? Oh, never mind. We have Ganon's Tower. Let's talk about Ganon's Tower. Ganon's Tower has a lot of chests, and you usually find it pretty early, and you usually want to go there as often as you can. Interestingly, Tisho both didn't check the first chest of Turtle Rock and didn't check Hope Room or Torch in Ganon's Tower here. All of those are completely in logic and could potentially have useful things.
Yeah, and I would imagine Hitsuyan, once he finds them, would probably want to go and take the time to just go and check out the first chest of T-Rock, and then the torch and Hope Room.
Yep. Meanwhile, Hitsuyan actually found the escape, a Hyrule Castle, so that's a few more connectors, and I have no idea where this is at. But Mimic Cave over at 5, so once you find the hammer, that'll be a quick flute in order to take care of that. Meanwhile, has Hitsuyan not checked the bottle merchant yet?
He has. That's why the bottle merchant, as in the one with the cane.
Oh, that's it. That was the cane. Where was the mitts? Weren't the mitts in checkerboard? I'm never sure he has the mitts. Just making sure.
That was the flutes. The checkerboard cane.
Oh, you're right. Where were those mitts? Looks like we got our first bottle off of Zelda.
Yeah, and you will have to find Sickit in order to turn that in.
Yep, but at least we know once we find Sick Kid, we'll be able to do it. It's one of those places that can be forgotten about as well, pretty easily.
It's, yeah, heading towards Dark Cross.
Yep, looks like Tisho's gonna head up to Zora area, unfortunately without the money for Zora.
Tisho will only be able to check the Zora ledge, and that's it.
As well as the cave here in Waterfall. Which is the Pyramid Fairy.
Oddly enough, that is one of the fairies. It's not the actual Waterfall Fairy, but it's close. And Hitsuyan finding a heart container within Dark Cross.
And then just bombs on Zora ledge, so Tisho abandoning Zora there, making it an isolated check now. We'll see if that ends up biting him in the butt later. Or possibly sooner if Hitsuyan's heading that direction. Oh yeah, we have Death Mountain access with the flute. That is a thing that we have. So the old man in Cross Keys has to be on the west side of Death Mountain here. So That might have been the first cave that we found. Here is the bomb merchant. Unfortunately, not going to see a check of the crystals, or maybe we are. There we go. Okay. So, Tower of Hera and Swamp Palace are both crystals in this seed.
So those are the important pendants and crystals that we need. We still don't know about the other pendants. We'll have to discover them as we either have a map check or complete the dungeon.
Yep, and it sounded like that was the Old Manus Rescue Cave that Tisho just went to.
Yeah, there should be a sound of a keys flying around that would signal the Old Man Rescue. There's a bow hanging out on top of Spectacle Rock.
I've been Super Bunny Cave here for Tisho. Decides to not go through it yet. Oh, he can't. He can't go this way. Never mind. He's going to go through just the long way.
The intended way, so to speak.
Yes, the intended way. Has to be careful with that one heart, though.
Hitsuyan, however, is going to go over to Zora's domain. 3 bombs hanging out on the Zora ledge. And we'll figure out what is on Zora.
Yep, as well as what's on the chests here in Super Bunny. Unfortunately, you can't reverse out of this, so Tisho is going to be stuck on this side. We'll have to see where it leads. That is a key to Desert Palace. So that's 2 chests, and Hitsuyan definitely knows where Desert Palace is.
Yeah, it opens up 2 chests. If it's worth something, then hey, it's worth it in my book.
This is the Cross Keys version of a fetch quest. Finding a key for Desert Palace, or the Terra Basement, or Thieves Town Big Chest. Things you don't need to go to otherwise, but will have an item. Okay, so I was not paying enough attention to see where Super Bunny ended up at, but Tisho ended up having to save and quit and flute back to 1. Or just flute back to 1.
If I was looking, I believe it was inside Spec Rock, the Spec Rock entrance from the top and not from the bottom.
Interesting.
That or maybe the bottom here. Oh, that's
Okay.
not the bottom. That is Icepod Cave.
Yep. And Hitsuyan did check that first chest in Turtle Rock, but only gets a piece of heart. I'm more excited for the Ganon's Tower check, though.
Yeah, I was expecting Hitsuyan to go and check out the first chest of Turtle Rock, along with the coming up here the GT checks.
Yep, and then there's another exit to Hyrule Castle. I'd be interested to see, because actually, you know what's in Logic? Tayo. It's a scary prospect, I know. So another couple quick entrances you can check on your first trip to Death Mountain is the Spike Cave chest. Or entrances, I should say. And it looks like we are going to get a tile room check from Hitsuyan here. Nothing in Hope Room, though.
Yeah, that's one of the other things you can do here while you're hanging out with GT is this tile room check.
So if you like the tile room, well, you should be excited for this week because you're likely to see it a lot more than you would normally.
Yeah, because considering that every and all dungeon item is taken out of the pool and or taken out of their own dungeons and put into the item pool, there's a lot of value, and surprising that Hitsuyan did not go and check out the torch.
Yeah, I didn't see the torch. That's could potentially be a good item there, especially if boots are available. It was also a bit of a walk, so understandable that he didn't. Looks like Tisha hasn't quite gotten the bottom, the south of Kakariko checks out of the way yet, so gonna bust those out, and we'll see where he heads from there. We're kind of running out of available locations. That Desert Small Key stands out right now.
Yeah, this is Hitsuyan only has that, and Tisho did not have enough money to pay off Zora for those for that key, and this is actually Tisho's first time entering desert for himself.
Yep, Hitsuyan getting the info about the crystal locations, 5 and 6. Well, we'll have to see if... Actually sounds like both. There were bats. Oh, there's that 300 rupee that Hitsuyan got. So Tisho now is enough for Zora. Don't know if he'll make his way back there yet, but... Sounded like there were 2 actual entrances on the mountain that had bats, which is usually what I use to signify where the Old Man Rescue is. But there is another cave that gives you that the little bat flying noise when you leave. So I'm not sure which one it was. That time it sounded like the normal rescue cave. Oh, and there is the old man himself.
Now, one thing I believe, if again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the old man's an entrance randomizer, it has to be on the mountain, like full stop.
Correct. It has to be on West Death Mountain, full stop. The entrance to the front of that cave to rescue the old man could be anywhere, but the exit has to be on that left side there.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I don't think we've seen this exit out of Desert yet, so we'll see where it ends up. That one leads to Village of Outcasts, so potentially useful connector for later on once we find that moon pearl. I don't think there's many connectors that could actually lead to the moon pearl at this point because we have the flute. Well, no, because we don't have access to East Death Mountain yet. So that is potentially a place where a connector could lead that we would want.
Yeah, we would have to find either a connector or a hook shot of some form in order to, like a hook shot or a mids or hammer mirror in order to get over to East Step Mountain.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think Tisha has done this yet, so he's going to do the escape. We've already seen this from Hitsuyan, doesn't lead to anything useful, unfortunately. I don't know if we've actually seen the third exit out of here yet, either.
We've seen East and West Hyrule Castle, but not the middle.
Right. Okay, that was definitely Dark Death Mountain where Hitsuyan came out. I just couldn't tell where. Kept looking at the wrong screen. Yeah, definitely it's looking like that desert right side could definitely have progression, but there's a lot of other random places that could have it as well. So it looks like Hitsuyan's going to go check that center desert exit, as well as those 2 chests for us. So we're going to find out right. If it's not there, I think we're down to only, like I said, a connector over to East Death Mountain. Trying to think if there's anything else chest related that we don't have. It could be actually technically be in Chain Chomp Room, I believe, with no other available Turtle Rock entrances.
Yeah, that's one other consideration of the Chain Chomp Room.
Ooh. That was the big key to Eastern Palace.
So we still need to find another bow or the mirror to get that bow that's on top of Spectacle Rock in order to clear it. Out of logic, of course.
Yep. Well, that was pod exit and out of the center of desert fun. That said, though, that is the big chest that's available now.
That too, the big chest of Eastern Palace is now available. And Joe heading over to Turtle Rock, gonna get the first chest of Turtle Rock. And
Yep.
if Tisha, he can do the Chain Chomp Room.
Yeah, we'll see if he takes. It looks like he's heading that direction though, so we'll see if he can take care of that Pokey with Kana Samari. Oh, that's a scary one. I believe he only has a green mail, so 1 shot from the Pokey, I believe, will kill him. If I'm remembering my damage right. Almost took a hit there. Get some more magic, so I should have plenty of magic for this. I believe it takes 8 hits with a Kana Samari. Okay, gets the key. Now she needs to dodge the chain chomps, which is might be the easier part, but not that much. Oh. Well, at least he doesn't have to kill the Pokey again. Meanwhile, Eastern Palace Big Chest has the Moon Pearl. Oh my goodness. So you have to... So that Zora... early Zora trip, unfortunately, going to bite Tisho in the butt here. So you can see that leads to the Desert Small Key, or rather Zora herself has the Desert Small Key, and then the Desert Eastern Palace Big Key is on the right side of Desert, and the Moon Pearl is in the Eastern Palace Big Chest. What a combination of stuff.
We did find Quake over on T-Show's side in the Chain Chomp Room, and Ether is required to open up the entrance of...
Yep, Ether is required for Mire. The only way Quake will be useful in this seed is if Turtle Rock has something that's not a connector already, and it does require Quake. We won't know that for a while, probably, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Hitsuyan finds probably one of the more useful entrances to Turtle Rock in Mire Shed here, as well as the dam over in the Mire area. Okay, so Tisho is heading up to Zora. I think he pretty much ran out of stuff to do at this point and went back, going to get his Desert Small. We'll see if he beelines it over to Eastern, or rather to Desert for the Eastern Big Key, and then Eastern for the Big Chest. He also didn't get that Big Key chest done as well the first time in Eastern, so I think it's pretty likely he'll do those, so we'll see. So the dam with Swamp will permanently drain, so you can always get that item now that you've drained the Swamp, as well as you can always go into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, once that once the have been opened up, it stays open up for the rest of the seed.
Hitsuyan just finding a piece of heart at the flooded chest, or flooded item, but does get a 7th heart out of it, so feeling a little healthier. And Ticho is indeed heading straight down to Desert, so on his way to that Moon Pearl now. Meanwhile, Hitsuyan starting his exploration of the Dark World with the Skullwoods here.
Skullwoods is also its entrances are also swapped a bit. They're shuffled amongst itself.
Yep. I believe that was the vanilla look entrance though, wasn't it?
Yes.
Nope, they're all 3 of them are the same as normal. So we'll be able to get a key out of here to more easily access to the left side there. The drop downs are also randomized though, so it's especially what things that can happen are the front of Skullwoods can end up being at where the back of Skullwoods exit out, so you can drop down there and just be trapped in the back of Skullwoods for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, Tisho is heading, or is indeed going to Eastern. We'll get his Noon Pearl and probably whatever item was in the back of Big Key chest there.
Hitsuyan decided to steal a key and then immediately get grabbed by the Wallmaster. His intention is to go and check out the west side, or this chest over here.
Yep, in Entrance Randomizer, the pinball room will always be a key. So, ooh, there's our lamp. That's our first fire source. Also makes dark rooms easier, but usually the more pertinent part is that it's a fire source, especially if we find Hera. That makes Hera basement in logic.
It's going to tap warp out.
Yep.
The reason why is just to save on key.
Yep, now he has a key for if he finds the back of Skullwoods, he can finish it. It is our green pendant, even if it's only a pendant. Could be.
And Hitsu is going to go and check out the top of Bumper Cave. Just a piece of heart.
Yep. And Tisho getting his Hyrule Castle small key. That's what was in there. Not as useful as usual. Well, it's not really that useful in general, but the only way it could be useful is if things like the Sanctuary is at Lumberjack Cave. They'll let you get to the back and actually check without having to do Aga 1. There's our first sword, finally. Unfortunately, it requires boots to get to it.
Yeah, it's hanging out of the library at the entrance to Bumper Cave.
Ooh, Tisha getting nailed by the pterodactyl. Or murderdactyl, as is typically coined. Because
Hitsuyan finds the front of the tavern.
Yep. And this is the Curiosity Shop, a place you don't know about very often, and a lot of people running this, their first couple runs will probably just forget that this thing completely exists, because it's not a place that you even maybe know about casually. It's just the bottom of Spiral Cave, though, so nothing useful this time around.
Yeah, every time I played rando states, I never realized that is an entrance that you can is a place that you can't go into.
I think, yeah, one of my first entrance seeds, it was like Swamp Palace or something, and I couldn't find Swamp Palace. It didn't exist in, so I had to like go through and be like, okay. And then someone's like, did you check the Curiosity Shop? I'm like, what's that? There's our second pod small key.
And that's at the spots at Hammer Pegs.
Yep, one more pod small key, and that puts the turtle room and the dark basement there in logic. We're getting dueling checks of Village of Outcasts, both checking Sea House at the same time. But it looks like Tisho will head back north while Hitsuyan checks whatever was. The lamp was in Skullwoods, the second chest.
Ooh, there's Graveyard Ledge.
Yep, Tisho already got this, just 10 arrows.
Okay.
It's the compass chest of Skullwoods, that's what it was. So Tisho will probably do the same progression that Hitsuyan did here. Grab this first chest and then go get a key. We'll get his fifth heart at least. Hitsuyan finding the desert exit that Tisho went out of earlier. Then we'll see some guaranteed items down here in the form of the digging game and the... Ooh, Tisho taking a bad death there, unfortunately. Those things are... Anyway, the digging game and Stumpy are here. We'll also see if he ends up grabbing the smiths. Have we found the smiths yet?
I don't believe we have.
So that would put them, I guess, on East Death Mountain then, right? Or I guess somewhere like a mirror location.
Tisho heading towards the Dark World, heading over to Skull Woods.
Yeah, it took a death there, unfortunately, so I'm gonna go back and finish it. And actually take the drop down here, we'll see where it goes. Unfortunately, not the place you wanted to drop down. Here's the big key of Swamp Palace, which is not actually a useful big key, though it does get you, at the very least, so you won't have to double dip Swamp Palace once you find both it and the small key.
And Hitsu heading over towards first gonna go and check out the Swamp Palace entrance.
Yep. Just a chest game.
And now gonna have her towards the Hype Cave entrance.
Yep, checking the Hype Cave entrance, check Link's house, get all this stuff out of the way. Probably will also then swim over and check the Dark Shopping Mall. So you can see the backdrop down from Tisho here. Trying to save a second key to Skullwoods. Unfortunately, we'll just drop down in Pinball Room. Okay, so Zeon checking the last mainland check here. That's actually the old Manic cave save guy. Actually has a lamp, so that'll be a lot easier to do once I get back to the mountain.
Yeah, so Hitsu is gonna head over towards the pod area.
Yep, there is one place, either the portal next to the where the potion shop will be in the light world, actually is a portal next to where the dark shopping mall is. One perfectly valid way of routing this is to just take that after checking the east side of the dark world here, and just run up there, do pyramid, do all that, and then go straight to the through that portal and hit the dark shopping mall to end your trip.
Dark Sahasrara only having the ferry.
Yep, and there's a connector that looks like he'd already found because that was already open. Must have not gone out the exit to it. Oh, that's right. We've already seen what pod is, so this is not. So it doesn't need to actually go through the maze. Fortunately, I believe that was the center exit to Desert Palace. So things of note that we're looking for right now that would open up quite a bit are both the mirror and the hand. Either one will open up quite a few locations or other useful things. Of course, the mirror will also get us the bow, which will let us do the Eastern Palace box for another item, as well as we're looking for quite a few dungeons still. Like, we've only found Eastern Desert, Turtle Run, and Thieves Town?
Yes.
So yeah, we've gone through quite a few entrances and have not seen a lot of these dungeons that could potentially be useful. Tisho finding his sword upgrade.
And Hitsuyan heading over to Catfish.
Yep. Boots would also open up quite a bit, as well as that first sword, of course.
Okay, hits to that Catfish, and it's gonna get $50.
Yep, just $50. Like I said, it's going to reverse here and probably take that portal I was talking about earlier to head to the dark shopping. And then from there, what do we have left? Hitsuyan pretty much cleared the entire dark world of checkable points at this point, or checkable locations. This is actually, well, this is a portal. This is an annoying portal because those guys like to love to drop bombs on you, and at low hearts and green mail, they do a lot of damage. Hitsuyan unfortunately making it through. Definitely good use of that red potion earlier.
And Tisho heading over to Catfish as well.
Here's the back of Desert, which is actually a completable dungeon right now. He has the big key. He has a lamp. So that is the thing he could do while he's here. Probably after he checks these other entrances.
We also find
Whoa.
Bumper Cave, the bottom of it in the swamp.
Yeah, there's a lot of goodies over in Dark Shopping Mall. Unfortunately, you can only check the first chest in Swamp, but gets a heart for his trouble. Always nice to have. Yeah, that's true. Lanmo with only Kane, and I think he does have a green potion, so he could theoretically do it, but would be a tough fight and decides against it. Especially since he knows where both the bow and the fighter sword are, which will make it quite a bit easier later on. That said, if Lanmo is the thing blocking progression, we might be forced to do it. We do have the old man. That's an item. Looks like it was the vanilla location. Exit for it. So we'll see if he's blocking progression. Outside of that, there's a couple more chests, or I guess there's one more chest in Turtle Rock we can check. Because we did find the big key, or the big chest entrance, which lets you get to the lava room chest. Though I'm not sure if that's actually in logic.
I gave you enough 300 rupees.
Yep, 300 rupees is nice to have. We do know where the bottle merchant is, so getting some bottle refills will be. And this is the back of the old man hut, so not actually useful either, unfortunately. So that's another connector to cross off the. Hitsuyan not been up here yet, or is this another connector that I'm forgetting? Oh, he hasn't done the Spike Cave area checks yet. I don't believe these were anything.
Spike Cave did not have anything of use. No, just the
Oh
shop.
yeah, and the other one was the Super Bunny Cave exit, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So far for those just catching up to this seed, looks like we're gonna be in for a bit of a long one unless things start happening fast. We've had a bit of progression, long form progression, in order to get to quite a few places here, including King Zora with not a ton of early rupees available early on. Having the Desert Small Key, which led to the Eastern Big Key, which led to the Moon Pearl in the Eastern Big Chest. In addition to that, since then, we've done pretty much a full canvas of the Dark World and not found much of anything, so Hitsuyan is now looking for, I assume, the east side of Death Mountain at this point. That is not the east side of Death Mountain. Because that is one of the big areas of entrances that we haven't actually found anything of yet, and could definitely hold progression. In addition, we also have places like we have Lanmo we could potentially kill, which no one wants to do with only a cane. With a mirror, we can get the bow. With the boots, we can get a sword. It looks like we're going to get smiths from both of our runners here, though. So it looks like this blacksmith was available somewhere. I just couldn't remember where.
Yeah, I don't know where that one. So
yeah, fortunately, our runners are most assuredly writing down these locations more so than I. Oh, was it just sitting in the dam the whole time? It was sitting in the dam the whole time.
okay. So our find from the blacksmith is just a map.
Yep, so now purple chest is available, so we'll see if Hitsuyan just goes straight to turn that in. Meanwhile, the smith is going to go on a bit of a journey with Tisha over here. Where did this go? This went to Village of Outcast, didn't it? Oh no, this goes to
East Dead Mountain.
Did we? We had to have already known this, didn't we? Or is this Hyrule Castle?
We
Did we never check the center of Hyrule Castle? Wow. Okay, well, this is, like I said, one of the spots of entrances that is definitely wanted. That said, it's not the top, which would have been even better. But we'll see if what is down here. There's an item here in Agana's cave. For the mushroom, we have found the potion shop over in the Light World shopping mall, or next to Ice Rod Cave. We'll see if Tisho goes over to Desert Palace or to the Dark World shopping mall here. There's the chest game with a key to Misery Mire. That will be our second one, so not a huge usefulness from that. Oh, unfortunately, Tisho running into the old man here. You can lose the blacksmith if you enter, for example, the old man cave, because you can't have two NPCs that can follow you at the same time. So unfortunately, I have to go back to get his blacksmith. We know it doesn't lead to anything right away, but we haven't seen purple chest yet. Yep, and there's Hitsuyan turning in the mushroom, and we'll probably head straight to the potion shop. Probably grab some potions while he's there, may as well. Yep.
Yeah, it makes tons of sense here.
He's probably also thinking that he may have to do that Moldorm fight, or not Moldorm, Landmo fight with Kane only, so... Oh, nope, there's our boots. No Kane only strats for Moldorm for... Moldorm. Landmo for us. Or them.
Yeah, that's a great pickup for Hitsuyan, having to find that mushroom where it was.
Yeah, it opens up 3 more locations. Well, it opened up 4, but we've already seen the Dark World Link's Bonk Rock. So this one will open the regular Bonk Rocks, the King's Tomb, as well as the Bonk Rock next to Link's house. So where did that mushroom come from? I don't even remember anymore. Oh, even though we just got it.
It was from Agina's cave.
That's right, it was in West Death Mountain. So is that central Hyrule Castle exit? That's actually been available for quite a long time to our run.
Yeah, it was the central Hyrule Castle, and Hitsuyan wasted no opportunity to get that sword.
Oh yeah, beelining straight for that sword. Always nice to have one. Not nice to have one an hour and 5 minutes into the seed, but the cross keys is what cross key does sometimes.
Yeah, and cross key siege usually take like 2 to 3 hours at most, and we're pretty much at that. So by cross key standards, we're pretty much at optimally just the half hour, like the halfway point. From
yeah, roughly. This one's looking to be a long one potentially, though. So we'll see. So we found the other exit to Spectacle Rock. He's going to do the bomb exit here. This is not an in-logic check, but we'll see where it goes. Oh, it goes to Hyrule Castle, so a useful one. Unfortunately, can only check one other entrance here, and it is nothing.
You need to get the at least a Master Sword or a cape in order to see what the castle tower entrance leads to.
Hey, using the magic bee to finish off that pokey there for Tisho. So this is in... I'm not sure if I can say this is in launch. This is a check. We'll see what it is. Just bombs.
And there's a kid.
Ooh, yeah, sick kid. At the Bunkrex, I believe, wasn't it? Ice
Big key to
Palace,
ice.
big key. Another big key that's not really required, but once again, if you find once you find Ice Palace, it's good to be able to check the big chest while you're there and not have to come back later for.
Definitely. And Hitsuyan heading over to the Link Bunk Rocks fortune teller. Surprised that Hitsu, you should have the stuff to at least do King's Tomb, unless I missed.
He already did King's Tomb. I don't think it was anything useful, but
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. So
boots looks like they did not lead to anything directly outside of that sword. Meanwhile, Tisho's gonna go get his smith back. So things that Hitsuyan has left to do now that those boots struck out were, at the very least, the purple chest as well as the Landmo fight. Looks like purple chest is on the menu first here.
which is fair.
Oh, nope, never mind. He's going back to Death Mountain, I believe.
Yes.
Because he can check a couple more chests in the or entrances in the Dark World here.
Yeah, this will be new information for us.
Yep, so this is 2 more entrances. We'll see what they are. Nothing.
Chicken huts.
Yep. I don't think we've seen the exit to this yet, actually, where Tisha's at. So this will be a potentially new area, especially if it's somewhere like the top of East Death Mountain. Where's Hitsuyan? Hitsuyan could be going to Ganon's tower here. With the lamp, you can sequence break the compass room and thus the basement. Oh, we can also get the torch, whatever's on the torch. Which is just 20 rupees. So still nothing from the boots. And we already know the torch in Desert Palace is nothing as well, so that's pretty much all of our boots relevant checks.
To answer a question in chat about Crossworld, Crossworld refers to crossed entrances, meaning that there can be connectors that lead to. There can be entrances that lead to the Dark World. Some connectors lead to the Light World. All entrances, all the dungeons can be in the Light World. Be in Light World. Others can be in the Dark World. And
yep. Hitsuyan, once again, remembering another place that I did not. You can bonk to the first chest here in Hookshot Cave. Unfortunately, also struck out. Meanwhile, Tisho is getting his purple chest and going somewhere with it. Not actually sure where.
Yeah, it's gonna head for Curiosity shop.
Has he not done this yet?
No, but of course can't really take the purple chest inside here because this is supposed to be the dark. This is the cave that is on East Death Mountain.
Yeah. Well, you just can't take the chest inside any location. It's only the smith that'll let you go into anywhere. Most places that aren't like dungeon entrances usually. Though I believe in entrance you can take him into pretty much anywhere. That's not like a drop-down exit. Oh, it was the mirror on purple chest.
Ooh. And Hitsuyan had not been over to that purple chest at all, so he's so far fairly huge.
Yeah, that's gonna actually looks like that's going to be our big progression here. That gets us the bow for sure, as well as a motley of other chests. Unfortunately, this will take Tisho away from his boots for quite a while here. Since we know boots doesn't lead to anything, it's probably not something he'll get to for a while. It is over in... Wasn't it over in Dark Shopping Mall? Maybe, maybe not. Oh no, it's Death Mountain. Death Mountain, I remember now. We're fine. I have a good memory, I swear.
So Tisho not finding really much over in the deserts, but hype then. It's a big key to Skull. Not useful. A compass to Thieves. Another compass to Ice. A heart piece and 3 bombs. So that big key opens up the big chest, and that's it. Okay, now looks like T-Shell's gonna head over to the checkerboard cave entrance, and Hitsuyan's flying over to... Okay, it looks like he's gonna get the purple chest, so he will get the mirror. So luckily, well, it's not Tisho and Hitsuyan's mirror locations. Mirror pickups are close by, not too damaging. Tisho finding a room with a hint tile. Before version 31, where hints have been turned, had the ability. The hints there, what actually had been, I guess, more so kind of useful. Like, so the rooms with the hint tiles can at least get some more information out of. Since then, V31, you had the option to turn them off, and we don't have the ability to. We don't turn on hints anymore. And Hitsuyan does pick up the bow, and is heading into the entrance of Hera, but it leads to Ice Palace.
Okay, so Hitsuyan found his mirror, nice. And Tisho finding the bombos in order to do stuff inside of Ice. In the form of a bombos. So Hitsuyan will be right behind him with that.
That is correct. And Hitsuyan picked up the mirror just a little bit before Tisho, like just a little bit after Tisho, so they're still both on equal footing.
Yep. So Tisho is going to, looks like he's going to take his mirror to places like the Graveyard Ledge and possibly the race game here, or K45.
Yeah, those are important. Those mirror checks within cross keys does have something of use. So T-Shell is actually going to take the mirror and bring it over the well from the drop down.
That is a good call as well. This is 5 items that we haven't had access to until now.
Alright, Hitsu's gonna get the bombos, and there's Ether. That's all 3 of our medallions. And there's a
hammer. So it was mirror required to get the hammer. And an ice rod. We don't know if Turtle Rock is required yet, but... That's a big find for show. Now let's him actually go back to the Dark World.
Convenient spot for that hammer, which that actually lets him do hammer pegs in addition.
We've actually are still kind of looking for connectors at this point too. There's a few places that connectors have been not leading us to, especially up on Dark East Death Mountain. And now with Mirror in hand, those will be pretty nice places to check.
I did see a map check from T-Show, and I saw that there was a crystal on Thieves Town.
Oh, and there is the aforementioned East Death Mountain check. Gets you the only bombs on the floating island, but also gets you all these checks. And with the items in hand now, he can also check Turtle Rock entrance. So we'll clear most of the rest of our Death Mountain entrances. And this is including here the laser bridge. This is a little tough to do if you haven't practiced it, though. It doesn't have any actual defensive, so this wouldn't be technically in logic that we.
Yeah, this is something that I personally have trouble with myself, trying to time the link.
Yep, looks like he has spent some time practicing it, though. Also gets a key for Turtle Rock in Laser Bridge. Interesting. Fortunately, it's pretty quick to retry here, even if you do take deaths, since you just show up here.
Yeah, this is the safety door entrance. Hitsuyan is going to head back of Eastern Palace. Going to clear out the boss here. Hitsuyan did grab the bow from off top of Spectacle Rock.
Yep. And actually, another thing T-Show could have done here with the cane and lamp in hand, as the Crystal Roller Room is fully in logic from this entrance. So that could be a big item that they haven't found yet. I also found the Turtle Rock map, so we'll see if that's a crystal or not.
So I'm going for the quick kill.
Yep, very nice kill. Ooh, and rewarded with a hook shot.
Ooh, 120-46. Hitsuyan has drawn first blood, getting the first crystal of the race. This is going to be, we're in for quite a wild one. We're still like 6 to go. And to show, finding that Bombos is required for that entrance, it's going to activate that.
Nope, no sword.
Oh, right.
He doesn't have his. That sword actually could be required to get into that entrance, weirdly enough. So he's going to go over, check his Hera entrance, as well as this will get him access to that bow while he's here. Meanwhile, Hitsuyan taking his hookshot straight over to Hookshot Cave, getting 3 more chests. Finds another pod small key. We haven't actually found pod yet, but when we do, now we can check a bunch of things there.
To show getting that bow from atop Buck.
Yep, I don't know if T-Show actually checked these locations over here yet. He might have done the Spiral Cave drop down. Though if he does drop down here, he will get that mushroom. Ooh, that's Spiral Cave, though. So that might take him away from this. Nope. Decided against it.
And Tisho gonna go check the actual Spiral Cave entrance, and that leads to Meyer Shed.
So in the Skullwoods big chest, we have a Skullwoods small. Definitely not what you want to find in there.
Yeah, that is very, very gross, and was the dumbest place to find that. And Tisho's gonna go and get that key for Misery Mire from the chest game.
Yep. This will get him the mushroom if he survives this. Gonna use a red potion. It's probably smart. You don't really want to die here. It's a long run without that hook shot. And then immediately finding the Hyrule Castle Central exit and probably being angry with it. I don't think he's actually seen the Dark Cross yet, so he's gonna get that out of the way while he's here.
Yeah, that is exactly what Tisho's gonna do.
And Hitsuyan remembering about the check here for we'll get his hammer and his other things here. There's a bunch of Ice Rod, I think, was the other major one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sho is up to that 11 hearts. Hitsuyan not very happy with that hammer location. Understandably so, considering the other way to get to that location is with the hammer. Gotta take that hammer. We haven't seen Mimic Cave yet out of Sho.
No, and considering Hitsuyan wants to have found it a little bit earlier on, he's gonna go and check that. Only 20 rupees.
Yep. We'll see how quickly Tisho cashes in that mushroom. But he's about to get out of Agana's cave here. Oh, no doubt it is definitely one of the worst with the hammer location. Especially considering that you want to have the hammer to go there to begin with, considering hammer peg. Okay, so Hitsuyan is probably going to take his mirror and hammer over to East Death Mountain here. He'll actually be able to open Turtle Rock, so we'll see if that's relevant.
Hitsu's gonna head over to Spiral Cave. And not gonna go down just yet.
Also going to avoid that with a bunch of other checks to do. It's not a very convenient place for Spiral Cave, unfortunately, because a lot of times what you want to do from over here is drop down to one of those two entrances below. And since he already knows that Spiral Cave doesn't lead to anywhere useful, that's not really an ideal place to go, but it is a guaranteed check. So, Cho heading back to Kakariko Village. Not gonna go turn in the mushroom right away. Instead, might be checking more mirror locations. Ooh, and Pod is what's in Turtle Rock, Maine. Like I said, we have a lot of locations we can check in here, so including a third key to Misery Mire, which we have not even found yet. It's like he's not going to save a key and instead go straight up the middle.
Now, go ahead.
Theoretically, you can actually do everything in this dungeon except for the boss with 3 keys. Logically, you need 3 keys to get to these chests back here, 6 keys to logically get to the... Or, sorry. Yeah, 6 keys, actually, to logically get to Dark Maze, the Stalfos room here, or not the Stalfos, Harmless Hellway here, and the big key chest. And otherwise, there's the second bow in pod, as always. As well as the second... I forgot what I was talking about, so go ahead. Oh, hey, there's our mirror shield. Now we have logical access to Laser Bridge.
Hitsu is opting to go for a hammer jump, just to get this big chest, or at least check the next 2 things here.
Yeah, no big keys, so no big chest, but this is a good idea to do. Save is a easy way to save a key, especially with that mirror in hand. Gets a shovel, so another fetch. And the way fetch quests have been paying off, I would not be surprised if he goes to cash that in sooner rather than... So I believe we've seen everything we can except for the drop down here as well as bow side. So, hey,
Let's pick up to find us. So, using that ferry to check out Spike Cave, getting a book.
This was at Cave 45, I believe.
And won't have enough to... Or no, he does have enough for ferry. Okay, that's...
He must...
That's smart.
I think he found Waterfall Ferry, and it had ferries, and I think he might have just gotten like 3 of them. I didn't actually see that, but at this point, that's what I... Because I remember seeing Waterfall Cave.
Yeah, and I know that there was... the Waterfall Ferry gave out ferries.
So there's a Ganon's Tower small key, which jogged my memory and might jog Hitsuyan's memory that Ganon's Tower is now a thing that we can go check the full left side of. That's, well, actually there's a lot of keys still too, so. So talking about like logical access to Laser Bridge here. Oop. Still gotta be careful.
It turned up a little too early, and to show, it's gonna go read the Bombo's tablet.
Use this to become invincible. So there's the cape. Yep.
Or, oh, that's not a cape. That's a cane. That's a Burna.
Is that Burna? I don't know which one's which.
The cape one, I think slightly is different.
So Hitsuyan, as I was mentioning earlier, this is actually a thing that could be logically required, is running, and Hitsuyan doesn't feel happy about doing this, understandable, but you can have to go backwards through this room if you have the cane and the lamp to get this chest right here without the... it's just a map, though.
It did say invincible, correct?
Invincible, I believe, is what it said. I could have missed it.
Then it would have been Burna, as someone in chat points out. Cape means invisible, and then Burna is invincible.
Is that really the difference between the two?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Come on. Anyway, Cho finally making his way over to the dark shopping mall over here. I'm not sure why he did this before turning in the mushroom, though. Maybe he did and I wasn't paying attention. Nope, he definitely did not. Because, I mean, it's not It's a pretty quick run to get back here anyway, because of the flute, but
Right. And
he's actually even getting potion. Hopefully this jogs his memory that he has a fairy. Or not a fairy, a mushroom. It looks like it has. Yep, he's going straight to turn. Okay, so Tisho is gonna go get his boots while Hitsuyan clears up some turtle rock stuff here. Fortunately, we already know this isn't anything useful. Gets his mirror out to mirror back to Laser Bridge, and never mind, the Chain Chomps did it.
it's a Dell 4, but I mean it's slower. It's slower because it has to go through all that game over stuff.
Okay, so there's the boots for show. So he can get his sword to get into Pod, which actually didn't have any progression. It had silvers, which is nice.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think it had any useful keys though. It had like a Ganon's Tower small. At this point, there's a lot of Ganon's Tower that's available. You can do the entire left side, you can do the entire climb. Show is going to give us our Landmo 2 kill here. He does have the hammer, so it should be, and the ice rod, so this should be considerably easier than if Hitsuyan tried to do it earlier.
Right.
Go ahead, half magic. I guess that's nice to have. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was finished.
Okay, so meanwhile, though, Hitsuyan is going to give us an Ice Palace check. So we only have the big key. Oh, we have a big key and a small key, it looks like, in Ice Palace. And there's that powder, so I don't think we ever actually saw the magic bat, so I think it could actually be on Pyramid.
Yeah, that's the only thing we've seen that we have not found already is the magic bats, and Hitsuyan opting to attempt a icebreaker.
Yep. I don't think he hit the switch, so he'll have to do the long way of finishing this, but he does have the big key, so it is definitely a doable thing, just going straight back.
A little bit of difficulty trying to set it up, or trying to get the clip through that. Just gotta do a 1-frame buffer to the left as soon as he puts the switch down, puts the smart block down.
Yep. Definitely takes a little bit of practice, but so hopefully you can get it. So there is Swamp Palace for show. It looks like Desert was actually a pendant though. And Hitsuyan does have that map, so that is something that he won't have to do. I don't believe it had anything useful.
I love the diligence that Hitsuyan has to an icebreaker down.
Yeah, having some issues with it, but so let's see where Sho heads next. I'm assuming this is to go get his sword. And we'll see if he takes that up to Pod or not. We know that would probably not actually be a super useful trait. He does need to get his hook shot off of Eastern Boss, though.
There we go.
Hey, got it.
There we go. Took him a little bit, took him quite a while, but we'll keep going through Ice Palace.
Yeah, at this point I'm kind of expecting our progression to show up either here in Ice Palace or in Ganon's Tower. And knowing Ganon's Tower in Cross Keys, it's probably in Ganon's Tower. There's our Hera Big Key, but I don't think we've actually found Hera yet.
No, we have not.
So there is Show's first sword at 1 hour and 37 minutes.
And to answer a question in chat, this glitch, Icebreaker, is a relatively new glitch that was recently on the Racing Council. It's been there for about roughly. Oh boy, that's a fire rod.
That's our fire rod. So item-wise, we are in go mode. Well, we need a sword. Okay, so we're not quite in go mode, but there's a sword somewhere, assuredly, right?
Yeah, we're in sword mode. We still need keys.
Yeah,
in case there's still need a bunch of big keys.
Yeah, at the very least, the Thieves Town big key, and at least two of the Pod, Mire, and Turtle Rock big key, as well as the second small key for Castle Tower. Can't forget that Ganon's sitting there, and thus that is a required complete. You're sitting on Lumberjack Cave, I should say.
I believe we're still missing the Swamp Palace key. I think.
Oh, also the Swamp Palace key, which we know is a crystal dungeon from the.
So that pretty much confirms it. That first my suspicions that was Perna on Bombo's tablet. That's the cape.
So Hitsuyan heading to the Cold Stair now. I believe he has like multiple blue potions, so this should be plenty doable with cape, hammer, fire rod, mostly fire rod and half magic, honestly. So to show, I believe we need to head over to Eastern. That hookshot seems very useful soon. But Ice Palace was useful as well with that fire rod. Just spam a bunch of fire rod shots and it takes down the Cold Stair.
Yeah, pretty easy fight.
So Cho heading is back to Hookshot Cave, unfortunately without Hookshot. Accidentally grabbing the pot, though. Can't actually bonk there. Oh, he's gonna try to hover. Huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well done.
It gets the job done. Nice first part.
Is he gonna do the rest?
I'm gonna set up for it.
Yep. Ooh, taking the fall there. Probably not worth it without that hook shot. Fortunately, we know it's available, but...
So Hitsu's back into GT, and it's gotta go to the right side, check out the compass rune.
Yep, this is now a fully completable Ganon's Tower. We'll see if he ends up going up the climb. We'll have to see what we find out of here. Interestingly, we were still missing a lot of entrances to dungeons. We haven't found Mire, the back of Skull Woods, or Tower of Hera yet. And there's not that many entrances left. Most notably, the ones we're missing are the Dark Connect in Dark World, not Dark World, in the Eastern Death Mountain Dark World. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and we already know about we already know about Spiral Cave. That's one of the connectors.
Yep. Well, we already know that Spiral Cave doesn't lead to anywhere, though. We've seen the bottom.
Yeah, but it does have an item there.
True. We also haven't seen the Bumper Cave exit.
did find a big key to Misery Mire with GT, the Stalfos room.
Okay, so that's one of our probable needed big keys. Map of Swamp Palace is not useful, unfortunately.
Yeah, at this
So-
point, we already know the location of it.
Impressive showing from Joe, getting his hovers out of the way there, so he doesn't have to come back with the...
Fire Snake room.
Yep, Hitsuyan in his comfort zone now, just powering through Ganon's tower.
Yeah, and we did check out the tile room earlier on.
Yep,
So-
nothing over there.
So as we're kind of approaching the hour and 45-minute mark, just about a minute before, just a minute until, these runners are great. They are probably the best of the best so far, and especially Hitsuyan and worthy opponent too. And you should definitely give them a nice hearty follow as well. They're representing the league very well, and
Yeah.
you want to follow our crew too. We have Yorker's wife on the commentary booth.
Tracker.
Or at least we also have, and of course, I am Professor Ender, and my co-com is Freddy. Definitely
Hello.
give him a nice follow too.
Make sure
we
you
have
give Renderer a
100
follow.
Oh, God.
Yep, go ahead. Just Skullwoods to show is all I was going to say, so go for it. Continue.
Okay. So with 192 players, all broken up into teams of 3, making a total of 64 teams. I am one of those, and with at least there's more, even more so going into week number 5, cross keys, at least 3 hours long, but approximately 2 hours per seed. Oh, this is. Oh, I love the swag from the show. There's a small altitude castle tower, so we can kill Aga.
Yep, that's our second small key to Aga, which is very useful for Hitsuyan. So he's going to do Fire Rod Lestrats. So actually, there's an easy way of setting up that Skullwoods bomb jump for that, is if you just hug that wall next to the door and go up, you will immediately open. Or you will automatically get that bomb jump. To show us a little low on HP and mana here, or magic, whatever.
Close
But
enough.
he does have a blue potion and he gets a free magic refill on top of it. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the fire rod.
Yeah, but at least 2 hours per seed at 2 hours, an average of 2 hours at the max, and you have a week's worth of rando content going into it, and we're kind of writing things down here. This is week 5. 2 more weeks after this week, and that will be the all dungeons key set and the spoiler. It's a spoiler log info co-pilot, and then we also have the co-op info share on week 7.
Yeah, that's the last 2 weeks will be spoiler log race with regular key sanity, and then like I said, the co-op info share. Is that key sanity too?
Let me check.
I'm looking at it now. Nope, it's just an all dungeons open seed for that 7th week co-op seed. So no key sanity. We're done with key sanity after 2 weeks in a row of it. Possibly 3 if you got your enema. Or not your randomizer, your mystery seed rolling will.
Yeah, and is opting to go for Hammer Moth.
And actually, that was the big key of Thieves Town off of Mothula there. So that is another, and we know that one's already a crystal. So Show went straight there. I imagine Hitsuyan will be right behind him. Show still actually hasn't finished a crystal yet, unfortunately. While Hitsuyan has 2. Turtle Rock is also a crystal, so we do need the Turtle Rock big key. Which leaves Pod or Mire as the last crystal. Ooh, nice God Pixel from to show there in the. So satisfying to get that run all the way up through that dangerous hallway.
Yeah, it's very satisfying to get that Hellway dash all the way through and it's gotta get the right pixel, and then you gotta hope RNG is in your favor.
One little note about the Thieves Town in the Light World is that the things that usually do 2 hearts of damage and hurt and are annoying as a pain are actually just wrapped with a different skin if you find them in the Light World. But alternatively, if you enter Hyrule Castle, for example, and run into those rats, they are actually the grasshoppers or whatever those are.
Crickets?
Crickets, yep, that's a better word for them. So Hitsuyan's going to check another entrance, still trying to find Mire or Hera, and it is not in Hyrule Castle main. So it looks like we're going to need to find some connectors to find those dungeons. I don't know which connectors we haven't actually seen yet, though. Ooh, there's our small key to Swamp Palace out of the Thieves Town Big. So that's another part of our puzzle out of the way.
Yeah. As soon as we find Tower of Hera, if we haven't found our Turtle Rock big key by then, we might be looking at a Pyramid Fairy.
Yep, like I said, we're missing Pyramid Fairy, we're missing like I said, we're still missing the Bumper Cave exit, which does lead to another entrance, as well as the Mick Cave entrance, as well as the other entrance to the Turtle Rock connectors. I believe that's the last 3. Hey, we're finally getting our first mail upgrade off of Blind. But really,
go ahead.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. To answer the question in chat, the Ganon spot is actually locked away on the Lumberjack ledge, which we need to get Agate 1 for.
Yep. So we're still waiting for Show to make his way over to Eastern Palace. So that's a piece of heart. Just needs to grab his big key or small key to Swamp Palace. That's actually, we know where Swamp Palace is, so that is a lot of chests that opens up. That Hitsuyan will have access to the whole thing, while Show still needs to do Easter. Where is Show going now? We'll probably see an ether check while he's here. We haven't seen that yet. Eastern, if I recall, is actually just in Kakariko, so.
Hitsuyan starts his line fight.
A little bit off of the script on that third phase there, but easily takes it down. Fighter sword, not much of a detriment there, fortunately. And Tusho is going to be doing his Ice Palace dip. Doesn't have hookshot, but that with Icebreaker available, that's not really a huge deal. We'll get his Fire Rod out of here, as well as I believe this is where the Hera Big Key was.
Yes.
Or was that in GT? That might have been GT too.
Wait.
Yeah, Meyer was in one of them. Hera Big Key was in the other.
Right.
They're both required, probably. Well, Meyer might not be. We'll see. So Hitsuyan is actually look like he's heading over to finish Desert, which unfortunately for him is a pendant, so... Though, interestingly, So does not have his Ice Palace Big Key. I don't believe the big chest had anything relevant in it. Does mean he'll have to hit the switch before doing the Icebreaker.
Yeah, it's gonna commit to that.
Okay, gets through it a bit faster than Hitsuyan did. Seeing, looks like Fire Rod strats over Silver strats on Lanmo 1 for Hitsuyan.
Yeah, it was that big key on Tower Hera that is in Ice Palace.
That's right, it was in that first chest there, okay. I remember Fire Rod was in the chest that requires Fire Rod to get to it, funnily enough. So that makes Bombos a very required medallion.
Yeah, the Freezor room. And Hitsu's gonna head for Swamp.
Yep, it's a good call with what he has. It's once again, it's a lot of chests. He's only a couple big keys from Goma. Potentially only Turtle Rock, actually.
Yeah, it's either Pod or...
Also, we know the way to get to Hera is not at from the cave, the Pyramid Fairy, because it is one of the 5-6 crystals. So that being said, that means there is a connector somewhere we have not followed. Somewhere. Where? I don't know, but somewhere.
Right, and there's still the possibility of Spiral Cave having one of those big keys.
Yeah, we have not
none of the runners,
seen it.
Yeah, none of the runners had went down there, went down Spiral Cave. We know that the bottom of Spiral Cave, that didn't lead to anywhere.
Yeah, Tusho might end up doing it after he does Pod. Though, for his sake, kind of hoping he finds that Pod Big Key first, but how deep it is looking to be, I'm not holding my breath. That said, it could just be here in Swamp Palace, and that will be fully accessible once he finds his hook. Which he just needs to finish a crystal dungeon for, so hopefully he does it sooner rather than later. I don't believe he knows that Eastern is a crystal, but surely at some point you gotta start finishing dungeons, right?
Right. So Tasho's gonna go and fight Cold Stare while Hitsu's heading for left side swamp.
Hitcho having to using hammer strats for a bit, having to get the blue chest out of the way. There's our Turtle Rock Big Key. That is potentially the last key we need. And that is if Pod is a pendant, which we don't actually know yet. Of course, we still need to actually find Meyer and Hera, but... oh, I know one connector that I don't think any of our runners have seen yet, and that is the pot laser exit out of Turtle.
Yeah, and we do have access to it.
Yeah, it's definitely easily accessible at this point. With that Turtle Rock Big Key, though, we might see Hitsuyan at least, very least go to the big chest there. Actually, Show ended up just dropping down. Oh, and here's Meyer.
Oh. Now
He doesn't have the
unfortunate
big
thing. Yeah, it doesn't have the big key. That's the unfortunate thing.
Looks like we aren't seeing a diver down from Hitsuyan either. Still kind of a newer skip, so not everyone's gotten the chance to learn it yet.
Yeah, it's not really that difficult, if I'm honest. It's let you skip the third water switch and also the second water switch to lead into Misery Mire, or not Misery Mire, Left Side Swamp. If you decide to just use a bomb strats, just like wait until the bomb explodes and transition off the screen, and you can hit the switch without
It's a Master Sword. No Fighter Sword Argus strats for Hitsuyan. So that's another piece of our puzzle. That's another Pod Small Key. To show not actually making it there yet. Unfortunately, we will not see if Meyer is our last pendant or not. Since once again, Show does not have that big key, unfortunately. I believe that one was in Meyer, or in Ganon's Tower.
I believe so. I don't know.
Well, we got the heroine out of Ice Palace.
Right. And then there's Myers, and that was in that was in GTA. Hitsuyan making quick work of Argus and gets red mail.
Another red. Is that our second boss with a armor upgrade?
It's been a long one, but I want to say yes.
I want to say Mothula had our other one. Oh no, Mothula had a another good item actually, a big key to something.
Oh, we haven't seen what leads
Ooh.
from Bumper Cave.
Yeah, this could very well be the exit we're looking for as well. Yep, this is the big one. So this will get you 2 more check we haven't seen yet. One of them is just the archery game. I don't think Hitsuyan's seen this yet. We know it's not. I believe it wasn't anything from to show. Oh, it was Meyer Shed, but once again, I don't think it had anything. Oh, we did not have a Castle Tower small key yet. Okay, so that was our second Castle Tower small key in Meyer. With the first one being in, I believe it was Ganon's Tower as well. Or maybe somewhere at Pod or something. I don't even remember. I'm not going to stop speculating. I don't remember these things. I should write it down, probably.
Yeah, cross keys is, I'll be honest, a lot tricky to do, and nothing leads to it. Oh,
And a full 3 minutes after Hitsuyan finds the second sword, we find the third sword. And my
so the good news is that when Hitsuyan goes to Meyer, he will have tempered sword, and this will be like a pretty trivial cannon fight.
oh, Hitsuyan checking things he's already done now. What was in Meyer Shed? Something was in Meyer Shed. Oh, yep, there's that Turtle Rock entrance. So we'll see if he goes over to the pot laser bridge here. Looks like he's gonna actually finish the dungeon.
Yeah, which is fine. Let's look at a crystal from it, and let's see if he does go over to that pot laser room afterwards. It's not too far away, given the location of the second entrance of Turtle Rock.
Yep, that's a quick flute over to Meyer again. But he will not get spit back out there. He'll get spit back in the front. So you'd have to make a concerted effort to do it. But what we are seeing is never mind, we're not going to see Spiral Cave. We're going to see the entrance to Turtle Rock first. But after Pod, I do believe Sho will be checking that because that's his last drop down now from that. Fortunately, got dead rocked.
Right. Hitsuyan's going to take the Samaria block ride all the way over to Trinex.
Yep, hammer strats aren't too bad. You can also just use the fire rod a bunch of times. So Sho is finding his pod. He has all the keys he could ever need, really. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't remember there being much of anything in here outside of half magic. And the silver arrows, I should say, is the other thing.
Yeah. And Hitsuyan having a little bit of trouble with that ice head of Trinex. Moves on the phase 2 though.
Yeah, it can be a pain for sure. Fortunately, he has red mail, so not too scary of a fight. Got a little bit close, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So let's see what Trinex drop. A 4th potion.
Our 4th and final one.
Rip to all of our fantasy viewers out there. Though he has done a lot of bosses with not a good level of sword, so you know that helped.
Okay, so Hitsuyan is making their way back through back to Turtle Rock. This is more likely than not the other connector, which is the laser pot room.
Actually, this is more likely this. The fire rod checks over here.
That too. That's also a possibility. Or that is something that he can do.
And it's another Ganon Tower small in pod. Ice Palace small. Ooh, that's our pod map though. That'll tell us our last crystal.
This is perfect. So, if it is a pendant, then for all intents and purposes, we are in go mode.
Did we see that map check?
Not yet. We are gonna get that soon.
Pod is a pendant, so that is Go mode then. Well, Go mode minus we haven't found Hera yet.
It's for always on Hitsuyan's side. No mode.
No mode, yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, I'm relatively certain Pot Laser leads to Meyer via the bumper ledge mirror spot. I think that's pretty much our only location left. Kind of going through stuff in my head here.
Oh, right, we haven't seen Hera, too.
Yeah, we also haven't seen Meyer from Hitsuyan, which will be his tempered sword. But he is in item Go mode, just not location Go mode.
Right.
I find Spike Cave, which I do believe actually had the book.
Yeah, the book was here in Spike Cave.
Which he can actually then go around and go get his Cane of Burn.
And yeah, just by borrowing just at least another sword, that's actually a full inventory.
Yep. Oops, bit of a mirror bonk there. And Show not finding anything in Pod, which is a pendant, unfortunately for him. I was thinking, nice to have half magic, I'm sure, but not what he was looking for. Interestingly, still has not gone to finish Eastern, but we are finally going to see Spiral.
Yeah, which, if we're completely honest, then that will not probably lead to anything. No, just 20 rupees.
The sword is pretty much the only thing that we could be hoping for there.
Yeah, that would have been a full inventory. From the collective
No, we are not missing. So we actually have seen both Castle Tower keys. One is in Meyer, and the other is in somewhere. I want to say Cannon's Tower, but so Sho still needs to make his way to Ganon, to Eastern Palace. I'm actually surprised at this point he hasn't done that. May have just forgotten about it. Or he may be thinking it might be just a pendant. Because he doesn't have the pod pendant knowledge yet. Though he will be getting that knowledge soon. Considering he has the other two, he will know that Eastern is definitely a crystal.
There's a connector. Well, that connector that led up to the top of Floating Islands.
Yep, that's the floating island one. Yeah, at this point I'm like 90% certain it's that pot laser exit.
And I'm pretty sure Hitsuyan won't ever head over to TR.
Sorry, this is one that I forgot about though, the Skull Woods entrance.
Yeah, this could actually lead to Hera if they're actually we pretty much running out of entrances.
Yeah, that's this one, and I believe the Light Orb Bumper Cave, or Dark Descent, or Descent Cave, I should. That's the one I was thinking of, but I also completely forgot about Skull Woods, which is something I do a lot.
Yeah, it's so very out of the way entrance. I gotta go check that as by itself, and that
It's
is
not Hera.
Another fairy.
Oh wait! Might see a pedestal check here.
Yeah, but that wouldn't give us much.
But it's fun, and Hitsuyan likes fun.
That's true. Yeah.
see. I think we'd already seen this now that I think about it, but oh no, Couch Cash, that was the Ether tablet, was Couch Cash.
Yeah, that was
Well,
the tablet. This is just pedestal.
Rip the pedestal that we already knew was Rip. Ooh, this is my area. This is where the Turtle Rock big chest was. So I think...
Yeah, he's intending to go to the back of. He's gonna go to the laser.
Yep. This is where I'm expecting to find the bumper ledge. And this is where we found the bumper.
Oh boy.
And
So
here is Hera, right? It has to be Hera?
please tell me it was Hera.
It's Hera!
Yes. Nice.
Yay!
So Hitsuyan finds Hera. So all that's left is for Hitsuyan to find Misery Meyer, and that's it.
That is at the drop down from Death Mountain, where the top of that little ferry is on East Death.
Yeah, and Hitsuyan not wanting to waste any more time. He's gonna go for Herapot, and he's got the pixel.
Yeah, understandable. He doesn't need items at this point. Well, okay, that's a lie. He doesn't need a Castle Tower key, so he'll probably actually check these chests up here. Just won't check the basement.
Right.
And again, he might check the basement. We'll see.
He's got that one key. There's a big key to the pod, so...
That's not required, though, we know.
Yeah, the last thing that, the last key that could have possibly been there anyway.
Yep, and meanwhile, Tosho finally finished Eastern and got his hook shot. Probably not super happy with himself. I know I wouldn't be. But let's see where he goes with that. So I believe progression-wise, Tosho mostly needs to do Ganon's Tower. I forget where that is, but that's sure a thing he needs to do.
So that's the Hera Crystal for Hitsuyan. That is 6 crystals in total.
Yep, we might actually see him do the Pyramid Fairy Cave before doing that drop down at DM. And we are going to see him check the Hera basement. Because once again, while we know that the last Castle Tower key that he needs for Go mode is in the Mire, he does not, so... Oh, Tosho hasn't done Swamp yet, so we're going to see Swamp from Tosho. That will get him his Tempered Sword.
Yeah, and Hitsu is going to take that coffee break.
Yep. At this point, we are decidedly very healthy with 18 hearts, Mirror Shield, Red Mail. Only a Master Sword still, but eh.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, if Hitsu does find Meyer, I do not expect Hitsu to get the Tempered Sword.
Was that in the cutscene chest? I mean, because he's going to be searching through Mire to find the Castle Tower key. I just don't remember where that was compared to the Soul.
Well, Hitsu's gonna do the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah.
This is just an entrance, but
I'm not too surprised at this, actually.
Yeah, but that's not the one we're looking for. Like Hitsu's looking for.
Nope, he's going to pretty much at this point last location that Mire entrance. Fortunately, he has enough of a lead that it probably won't matter.
Right.
Show missing out on that hook shot for a while. means he still hasn't even been to Ganon's tower, and Hitsuyan did that quite a while. That will lead him to pretty much what the rest of the stuff he needs, but not fast enough to catch up, I think, unless Hitsuyan gets lost and doesn't remember the location he needs.
And to answer a question in chat regarding the requirements for GT. Now, in Cross Keys, the crystal requirement for GT is just for an entrance. Because GT can pretty much be anywhere, and we know where GT was at. It was at Sahasrah's hut. And the Ganon dropdown is at on the Lumberjack ledge, which we need to kill Aga 1 for.
Yep, so that is why we are not in go mode despite being able to finish all the dungeons. Because of Aga 1. Okay, so Hitsuyan is making his way over to East Death Mountain. So it's likely he knows the last location he needs to check. And is indeed that center drop down from the right side. It sounds like that second sword was just below the spike room, so... Or third sword, I guess I should say.
It's again the 20 rupees off of the Ether tablet.
Yep.
So Hitsu is almost there.
And there he goes.
There it is.
Found Meyer. Time to do Meyer. He'll be rewarded with at least the Go Mode second Castle Tower key. And could be rewarded with a or a Tempered Sword, I should say.
And Tissel had done the diver down from the third crystal switch, or the third water switch that lets him do the flooded chest pretty early.
Yep, gets his Turtle Rock big key out of Swamp, I believe, here. Gets his Tempered Sword out of that chest. And we'll get his red mail off of Argus. So at this point, I believe Tissot just needs to go get the Meyer Big Key and the second Castle Tower key from Ganon's Tower for Go Mode. And Hitsuyan just needs to find the Castle Tower key out of this for Go Mode, but this is also Hitsuyan's last dungeon outside of Aga Tower. It's a good Argus Phase 2 from Tissot, though. Gets his red. Second Castle Tower key is right there, so it looks like Hitsuyan will be stuck on Master Sword. So I'm expecting him to just go straight to the boss at this point. Yep.
Yeah, 221.47 Hitsuyan has under Go Mode.
Yep, with just the bottom of Meyer here and the Castle Tower Aga 1 to which is not required normally, but it is required in this seed because Ganon himself is at the Lumberjack cave.
Yeah, so even though Tissot does have the sword advantage, Hitsuyan is way ahead of Tissot, so the sword difference won't matter.
Yeah, Hitsuyan's plenty experienced enough to do a Master Sword Ganon fight, I would say. Unless he happens to find the last sword in Aga Tower, though I think we've already seen those chests. Maybe?
We've seen both chests, yes. I would say. if a tempered sword was in Aga Tower, like the second chest at Aga Tower, then we'd be fine.
Like I said, Hitsuyan's probably fine anyway.
And that is the final crystal for Hitsuyan. And we're gonna play a guessing game because we found that big key pretty early on the seed, and pretty much Hitsuyan has to do is climb up Aga Tower. We will play another game. It's similar but not completely. Don't get your guesses in chat. Just not now.
I mean, why not now?
Why? It's like not even close. But I guess we'll just do it. I guess we'll just preemptively do it because we're climbing up the tower.
Fast. It'll be fine.
So I guess we'll just call it now. I don't like it, but their Aga 1 can fire from 0 to 15 blue balls, and you guys can guess how many blue balls that Aga 1 will fire, because it is also seeded unless you die. And
I'm gonna go with 0, by the way, just as an aside.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put 3 because it's always 3.
It's average. It's boring.
I don't care. It's 3 because it's always 3.
That's fair.
Statistically, the best choice, as someone in chat says.
As an economics major, statistics.
Computer science major.
Fair enough. Yep, same thing. Well, kind of.
No,
I went from computer science to economics, but
fair enough. Anyway, so how the fight works, as we're about to approach the end of the tower, is the way the fight works is that the first attack that Aga 1 fires will always be a guaranteed red ball, no matter what. Attacks 2 through 4 is a 50-50 between a red ball and a blue ball, which blue balls do nothing. And the 5th attack will always be a lightning attack, in which then the process repeats over and over until you get 6 red balls into Aga 1.
Yep. Okay, where is Chisho heading now? Hopefully Ganon's tower, because that's where he needs to go. As my voice is dying apparently slowly. Looks like he's going to check the back of Skullwoods, though, also looking for that Hera entrance.
There's 1 blue ball.
So much for me hoping the seed would be nice. Just boomerang him enough times and he might die. Just follow.
I love when the runners just play around back and one in this fight, because it takes quite a while.
4 blue balls. So much for the seed being even close to being nice.
It's still kind of like in that realm of it's sort of okay-ish.
Okay, we just need to avoid 3 more blue balls here and everything's fine. See? Easy. Everything's fine. 4 is the answer.
Yeah, I'm close. I am close.
Shout out to the Domo-kun for getting that 4 right before Brutask did. got that blue ball guessing game, which we get to play for what? Ooh, looks like Show is actually heading in here, but isn't going to be able to finish. Just gonna get the 2 chests.
Alright, Hitsuyan now on the way over to... It's close enough. Let's be closing in on that last phase. So, for Master Sword Ganon, it's a total of 28 spins, 24 spins for the first 2 phases, and then the 8 spins to get through phase 3. And just the number of spins it takes to not get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, but get those silver arrows in.
The center of the Ganon Pop.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, that should be phase 2. Just gonna stick down with the cape with the half magic. I believe he still has a blue potion in hand, mostly from because one dropped.
Yeah, from Trinex.
Oh yeah. Yep,
Cape strats to protect him.
This should be phase 3 now. Yep. So 4 spins will get him into phase 4, and with silver arrows in hand, rather the golden arrows in hand, you can take down Ganon pretty quickly. Ooh, missed a spin. Phase 3 can be a bit of a pain. Okay, that is 1. Good torch glitch from Hitsuyan there. There's number 2. And that is number 4.
Yeah, get your GGs in chat for Hitsuyan 1. And in order to get Team Awesome up to 27 points, just gonna cross a 1x3 bridge. And he will do so with a time of 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 37 seconds. GG.
GG to Hitsuyan. Very well played. We'll get him in here for an interview shortly. Possibly.
And hello, Hitsuyan. GG.
Hey guys, GG's.
So, I'll just put it simply. The seed was kind of dumb.
I don't like the seed.
Yeah, nothing like getting a sword an hour in. Cho didn't get it for another half hour after. He didn't find that mushroom for a while and ran into the mirror first, so it kind of sent him in the opposite direction for a while. And then, of course, the path to get to the Moon Pearl was sure a thing that happened.
And the hammer. The hammer spawned.
Oh, and the hammer.
Yeah, you had so many options, so many entrances to check, and then it was a connector, like always, that you go to the mushroom and pick up the boots. I also last located the mirror, I think, on the purple chest. And then it leaded to the hammer. Yeah, it was also not a fine location.
Yep, that was... Yeah, we had things like Hammerlock behind Mirror in Magic Bat area. We had Fire Rod in Freezor Chest of Ice Palace. Turtle Rock required, or not Turtle Rock, Ganon's Tower required for literally 2 keys. And that's it.
But I still enjoyed the seed because I played long time ago the last entrance, and
Oh yeah, so it's the first one in a while. It's always nice to get back on the crossroad tour. Cross keys, I should say. Horse,
And looks like, from the looks of things, Dassault may have elected to forfeit the race. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so we'll be able to get Show in here for a quick interview as well.
Hello, Show.
Show, GG's, good job trying to put that one through. Nice job on those hovers in Shot Cave, by the way.
GG's. Yeah, the seed was pretty bad, and I played really bad on the first hour of the seeds too. So I knew I was way behind.
Yeah, it was a rough one. You actually did get the mirror first, but unfortunately that led you kind of away from those boots to get your sword. Which I guess you didn't actually miss much by not going into pod until later. But
Yeah. But the seed was rough. I almost lost location pretty much every single progression that I needed, and I forgot to check left exit from T-Rock 2. That was the way to Hera. So
yeah, Hitsuyan pretty much last location both Hera and Meyer, so it was a tough one where everything was located. You had 3 different drop downs from the East Death Mountain because of that Spiral Cave location. You guys actually both skipped that the first time around.
yeah. The connectors wasn't very good too, so it was rough to get the loops around the map.
Yeah, for sure. So with this, that puts Hitsuyan with Team Awesome at a 27.9-0 stranglehold over your deck, while you guys are still at 3 and 6, I believe that makes you. But you guys still have another race to go this week to hopefully take a match off. Who's your guys' racers for later?
From our team, it's gonna be Alin.
For us, Raman.
Okay, should be a fun race. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I know you guys got to get over to another one, so we'll let you wrap up with anything else you'd like to say about the seed.
Just thank you guys for putting up the restream and lending some of your time to commentate, to track. It's not an easy task to do this stuff. So thank you very much, and for everyone that watched the race.
Yeah, thank you for putting on the races. Couldn't do it without you guys either. So, and we do have a lot of fun with it.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a good one. Good job. GG.
Yeah, that will do it for us here. So, yeah, give both runners a nice hearty follow. We had Yonker's wife in the tracking corner, doing all the tracking, and then, of course, me and myself, Professor Render, and Friday are your commentators. If you want more ALTTPR action, definitely follow the Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming 8 through 6, along with the ALTTPR League and the ALTTPR League 2 through 4. I'm going to let you take the last word here. Ready?
Yeah, once again, GG's to Hitsuyan and Show for putting on a good show of cross keys for us today. Congrats on the win again, Hitsuyan. And thank you for commentating with me, Professor Render. Make sure you give him a follow, and our runners a follow, of course, as well as our tracker, Yonkers. Thank you once again. For the ALTTPR League. This is the start of week 5, and we're looking forward to a fun week of cross keys. see you at our later matches tonight. I believe our next one is at 6:10 in about an hour and a half. And we will see you there, hopefully. Have a great night. Bye.
Take it easy.